So this is what happens when Poirot isn't solving murders. He's murdering kids himself. So, knock knock. The typical haunted house story this series. And, well, I have to say, at that point it was my favourite episode. And the enhanced version, which is still up on BBC iPlayer by the way, was brilliant. And, just got a drink, I do have a sore throat. Well, this episode is really good. It reminded me a lot of, well, an old Sarah Jane Adventures, The Eternity Trap. It reminded me of that. And this episode is very basic. It relies on a basic premise. Bill and her friends are looking for a house and they just stumble upon the landlord. And it's a basic premise, but it works. And then the doctor comes in, and I like how he helps her move her stuff. And then, well, they just get talking about Time Lords. And it seemed like a natural conversation because they needed something to talk about. And that's what it was. And this episode, well, this series, in fact, is filled with a lot of nice details like that. Like Bill moving the picture of her mum around the room. And, well, just everything. We got some hints of what certain characters like Pavel likes classical music with his record player, or jazz. But then again, he wasn't around that much. Got taken at the beginning, ran out of the house, never saw him again. But all the other kids were, well, we got to know enough about them. And Paul, my god, he's like the tallest, I swear he's like the tallest extra on Doctor Who. Seriously. He's supposed to be, how old is that guy? And how many growth spurts did he have? He's massive. And again, we got a reminder of Bill's gay because she turned down Paul. And it seemed natural, by the way. It wasn't just Rise going, I'm gay. I need you to remember that. It was natural. Like most of this felt natural. Bill's a natural companion. She feels natural and was written like a natural person. And I have to say, I did like the way they revealed Pavel in the room when he's in the wall. And then the landlord just walks in and acts like everything's normal, makes him disappear, and then it just leaves. I like that. Compared to Thin Ice with probably a pantomime villain, this guy is just... he's a TV villain, but he's sort of the villain that pretends to be a good guy, which he does. And he's got that moment of the turning point where you know he's acting a bit too evil for a good guy. And of course, the Doctor. I have to say, Pete Capaldi, he's pulling out the stops this year. And this is his final season, and I'm going to miss him. Really, he's great. No matter what episode, he is done it the best. And I did like the interaction between him and the landlord, because David Suchet and Pete Capaldi actually did have acted together before this. And, well, they just seem like they've done it a long time because they've had they have a lot of chemistry and they're really good together. And another thing, Harvey. Interesting, because this episode was full of it's kind of a one interesting how the Doctor and Bill separate for this episode, because obviously Bill said this is the part of life where the Doctor isn't in, and I like that because most of the time Clara probably would have accepted the Doctor there, and Bill's pretty much doing everything she can to get rid of him, and that's really good because she probably doesn't want him to embarrass her or anything. But the Doctor likes Little Mix. Who would have known? Honestly, who would have known? And let's talk about the big twist. Not the dryads, even though I'm not especially afraid of or scared of insects, so they didn't really creep me out. Well, especially the single one, but when they swarmed, that was a bit creepier. And it probably would have been better than the house being alive itself. That would probably mean a bit too Scooby-Doo. But alien insects, good. And how he came upon them by accident, that was good. But Eliza, I have to say, I did like her reveal, and her scenes where it revealed that the landlord is in fact her son, which makes a lot more sense. Well, I say a lot more sense. A father protecting a daughter, yes, but that's probably a bit too cliched. I like how it's the son protecting the mother, because he's still, by the looks of it, he's still so naive that the mother hasn't taught him anything. He's just trying to keep her alive, and that's how he does it. And I like that because, well, it's different. It's really different. And David Suchet, great. He did a great job. And pretty much everybody in this episode did a great job. Except for a couple of moments, but hey, it is what it is. So, this episode, I have to say, I really like this episode, especially enhanced version, because it's very atmospheric and it's really good at setting up a family-friendly horror movie type tone, and the Doctor and trying to figure it out. It just seemed really good, and it's a natural progression. And the episode right after it, Oxygen. Well, we have to talk about the Doctor with the Vault. I won't talk about who's in the Vault in this episode, even though, well, by now we know. But I'm going to talk about it next episode, or in extremis, when it was revealed. But I have to say, it was a good scene. I did like these scenes when it's just a short scene with the Doctor and Nada with the vault door. I like that. So I'm going to give this episode an 8 out of 10 because it's David Suchet, brilliant actor for the villain, who really does it justice, and it's just a generally good episode because even though it's sort of cliched haunted house and some really haunted house, I liked it. It was fun. So next episode, they're in space with evil suits. Oxygen. And the Doctor, he's blind.